Welcome to the Poisoner's Cabinet. I'm Sinead.
And I'm Nick.
And this is your weekly podcast exploring the lives of the great poisoners and poisoning cases from across the centuries and creating curious cocktails inspired by the tale that we tell. And it's episode 37.
Yes.
Yes, and you know what? It's pretty much Halloween.
It's we're still in spooky week.
TM. Spooky week. The season is upon us.
Sinead is very excited by this.
The veil grows ever thinner, Nick.
No, it doesn't.
You're wearing orange.
Yes, absolutely. That was my impression of a pumpkin.
Wow. How are you, Nick?
Well, I'm a pumpkin. Can't you tell?
And a lovely pumpkin you are too.
There we go.
That's it. That's it.
I'm fine.
You're fine.
I'm
good.
fine.
Any poisonings this week?
No.
Okay, good.
Well, I'm glad you approve.
Well, I mean, it would be difficult if you were poisoning people. Then we'd have to stop this.
Only if they found me.
That's true. But you are a master of disguise.
Well, exactly.
Today you're a pumpkin.
One day I'm a pumpkin. The next day, who knows what I'll be tomorrow.
Selection of seasonal squash.
Exactly. I'm eyeing up that courgette. No one will ever know.
I'm upset now. I don't know what's happening. Well, before we go any further, Nick, we need to thank our lovely Patreon subscribers.
We probably should. They are delightfully marvellous people.
They're very, very sexy.
Oh, very and slightly insane for being here.
But they've been joining us on Spooky Week over on Patreon, and it's spooky it has been.
Yes. Where did Spooky Week come from?
It's just fucking the run up to Halloween. It's Spooky Week.
It's just Spooky Week.
It's Spooky
That's
Week.
official.
How does this not... It's like the run up to Christmas. It's Spooky Week. Windows are covered with skeletons and cobwebs.
No, they're
Children
not.
run... Yes, they are. I've just walked past about 5.
Did you?
Yes.
In your imagination.
I imagine walking through
As-
Halloween
as-
land. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. La la la. I live in that world.
As you were walking with your eyes closed through the middle of Canterbury.
Wandering with my hands out, children running, screaming from me while I tried to
That
give them
happens
sweets.
all the time.
Well, okay, you know what? Spirit of not Halloween. Let's just thank our Patreon subscribers.
Yes, we should. Yes, well, thank you so much to Samantha Roberts.
To Jessica Walpott.
To Nancy Alston.
To Veronica Lepp.
To Kirsten.
And Marcel Jansen. Well, Nick.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to ask.
Yes.
I mean, if it's all right. Are you ready to drink cocktails and talk about
I
poison?
already have a cocktail, so I'm way ahead of you.
Or we could drink poison and talk about cocktails.
No, I'm sticking with my cocktails.
No,
Nice.
No, oh, no, okay, you've just determined
Not
on this
even
one.
in Spooky Week.
Not even in Spooky Week are we going to drink poison. Okay, fine. Well, it is Spooky Week in spite of what Nick says. God damn it. But we can't possibly talk about poison without a cocktail in hand.
Oh, God, such a thing would be madness.
It would be madness. You have an emergency cocktail
I've got
already.
a cocktail on the go, yeah, absolutely.
As it's Spooky Week, it could only be my story, surely.
Obviously.
Every week we have a secret ingredient that flavours the cocktail that is inspired by the tale that we tell. And
Yes.
the secret ingredient this week is pumpkin.
Now, so I'm going to say, I want everyone to count, are there any mention of pumpkin in this story? Or have you just gone, oh, it's Spooky Week, let's have some pumpkins? Because that is your voice.
It's uncanny.
It's uncanny. My impressions are
I was like,
spot
oh my
on.
God, it's like a living mirror that speaks. Mirrors don't talk. What? I'm going to hear myself.
My God, this pumpkin's got my voice. It's magic.
When do you turn into a carriage? So, references to pumpkin in this story. Okay, so because it's Halloween and everyone loves Halloween.
Excuses.
Full disclosure, in the story, there wasn't an obvious secret ingredient and there isn't a mention of pumpkin. However, I have added a little factoid.
I have added some stuff and made it up. I've added a pumpkin in there.
No, I have an intro, a precursor to the story, which you might find diverting.
Might.
Listen.
Not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Shall we go through the mysterious white powder of last week?
I think we should.
And the monk.
And the monk.
And Sicily.
And art. And love.
Right. Just whoever's keeping count here. Pumpkin is an actual ingredient, at least.
I'm not denying that.
Well, there we go.
It's got nothing to do with the story. But
it's pumpkin. Deal with it. Move on. Just
Fine.
embrace the Halloween spirit. But with pumpkin as our inspiration for the cocktail, what have you come up with?
Well, what have I come up with? I have no idea what I've come up with. Because I've never had it before.
What monstrosity.
What terrifying thing did the internet come up with? We have come up with... Well, we haven't come up with it. We Googled it.
But I'm really feeling your enthusiasm for this one.
Well, I'm not a pumpkin... I like pumpkin in a stew. Or something savoury. Yes, exactly. That's lovely. I'm not a pumpkin
Roasted
spice
with
latte person or a pumpkin pie. No, none of that.
Oh, see, I like a pumpkin spice latte.
No, can't be doing with that. So, yeah, to have it in a beverage is entirely alien to me.
In England, we have pumpkin spice lattes. We have nothing else pumpkin-y. And I know in America and other places... Oh, there's pumpkin fucking everything. We don't even have pumpkin pie over here.
Nope.
I don't even know what that would be like.
Pumpkin-y.
Is it just pumpkin with sugar
I don't
pastry?
know.
Wrapped
You're asking
together.
the wrong person.
Because you hate pumpkin, apparently. You've dressed as a pumpkin and you hate every second of it. Well, what have we got then, Nick?
We have a pumpkin smash.
Ooh!
Because I'm going to smash all the pumpkins I find. So...
Reminds me of that joke in Bowfinger. When someone says to you, do you like smashing pumpkins? Are you kidding? I love to do that. Well, pumpkin smash sounds absolutely brilliant. So I think it's time for us to go into the Poisonous Cabinet kitchen and shake up a storm. See you in a minute.
See you in a bit.
And we're back.
Hello.
A pumpkin smash.
Pumpkin smash.
Oh, it looks orange.
Looks orange.
It's pumpkin-y and
Looks pumpkin-y.
foamy.
Pumpkin-y, foamy goodness.
Foamy, scummy, almost. I'm not gonna lie. It looks... Oh, it's got a head. It's got a head to it.
Scummy is not the word that one uses.
Mine settled because I took so long taking photos of it.
Hours taking photographs
David
of it.
Bailey over here. I like the look of this. It's good.
It's interesting.
Talk us through it.
So we have bourbon.
Yeah.
We have lemon juice.
Oh.
We have a pumpkin spice syrup.
Yay!
Which I think is just the same stuff you have in coffees.
Okay.
Which is interesting. And then a little bit of soda water.
Oh, interesting.
Just to give it a bit... Now, the recipe itself actually calls for a lot more, but then I thought, where's the fun in that?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't want too much of that, but a little bit to give it a little bit of fizz.
A little bit of fizz, yeah. It looks kind of fizzy and jolly and everything. Oh, well, it looks
And that's about
very...
it. So, very simple.
Okay, well, let's dive in and have a taste.
Merry Spooky Week.
Okay, all right. Merry Spooky Week, guys. I like that.
Nah.
You're very confused by the syrup, aren't you?
I don't like that.
You don't like... Oh my
It's
god. It's not... I
Very
don't find it
sweet.
too sweet.
So I'm not a fan of the pumpkin spice shenanigans.
I don't like sweet stuff normally, but I do like a pumpkin spice. I'm going to try it again, just to make sure. I really like that. I am surprised about how much I like that.
Excellent.
Oh, it's definitely sugary and sweet. But
It's very
not
sugary.
I don't think that's overly sweet.
Well, it's got the lemon in there as well, which helps cut through. It'd be interesting because I put a fraction of the soda that was meant to be in there.
I think you were completely right to do that. That's why
So
you're
if you
the
put too much,
master
then it's...
mixologist.
I thought that's just going to be just too much. It will just water it down too much.
It would actually be like a cream soda or something,
Yeah.
like an actual soda drink, whereas this is a proper cocktail.
Yeah, so it's like... Meh. Well, I'm glad you like it.
You hate it.
I don't hate it. I mean, I'll drink it. It's not that bad, but it's not one I would have again.
It's surprising how much I like that.
Yeah.
Because pumpkin spice... I mean, what's in pumpkin spice? It's all the cinnamon...
exactly. It's
flavours and a bit of pumpkin in there. But with the bourbon and the lemon juice, it really works, in my opinion.
Well, it's all very autumnally sort of flavours and things, aren't they? So it all goes together.
I really like that.
So,
I wouldn't have, like, more than one. But
yes,
guys...
I think it would be quite sickly if you had more than one.
Yeah, but if you've got pumpkin spice syrup in the house, and if you're in America, your house is full of it now. You can't fucking move from pumpkin spice. Bourbon, lemon juice, and a little bit of sparkling water on top.
Exactly.
Delicious!
Incredibly simple to make. And stuff that you're going to have in the cupboard.
Oh, imagine if you were sitting out on the porch in Massachusetts or something and watching the leaves turn while the children go trick-or-treating with a glass of this in hand. That's just adorable.
Yes.
You are cold to this.
Yes.
You just hate that idea. What about sitting on the porch with a drink?
I can sit on the porch with a drink.
But no Halloween-y stuff.
Eh,
I'm to shut up the whole time.
Silence. Silence on the porch.
That actually sounds like a horror story. Dare I say it? The pumpkin smash is a smash, in my opinion.
Right. Did you have to say that? Really?
I've been waiting so long to say
I'm
that
sure you
since
have,
you said it.
God.
Well, you know what? I think pumpkin smash firmly in my hand.
Yes.
You're sort of okay with it.
Yeah, I'm still leaning towards my other cocktail, my pre-cocktail cocktail.
Your pre-cocktail cocktail, which is today?
Which is a Puritan.
Which is a very interesting cocktail.
Which is a very nice cocktail. One of the really vicious, harsh ones that I like.
It's really strong. It's just booze, isn't it?
It's just a bit, gin, vermouth, and yellow chartreuse.
And we should do a tasting of that one time, because that is...
We've not done it on an episode before.
No, we haven't, and we should. It is a chartreusey one, but it's the only chartreuse cocktail that Nick gave me by surprise one time, and I didn't die. I didn't pass out from it, so I think we need to do another tasting again. But that's for another time, because
That's
I'm
another time.
firmly in pumpkin
You're
spice
going
territory.
Pumpkin Spice World.
Pumpkin spice world. Oh, so many puns. Are you ready for a story?
Well, I'm hoping it's some sort of like headless horseman, pumpkin flaming thing going on.
Let's say yes.
Good. I'm glad that I'm all there for it.
You know what? I promised you a pumpkin fact.
You did. Yes. Well, I'm intrigued. What is your pumpkin fact?
Pre-story pumpkin fact.
Nice.
We love a pumpkin at Halloween. We love these sorts of things. We all know I do. I'm apparently insane for them. But did you know that pumpkins are poisonous?
Is it the seeds or something?
No.
No.
Is
it they're poisonous if you eat 5 tons of them?
No. Pumpkins and other squash, seasonal squash if you will, can produce a particularly nasty toxin called... this is difficult to say.
Go for it.
And I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, so let's just go with this. Cucurbitacins.
That sounds delightful.
There you go. Very bitter and very toxic to humans.
It's only called bidikins. It sounds so jolly and lovely.
Cucurbitacins. Well, I don't think it's pronounced
some,
that way.
Some
but
sort
I'm
of
just...
like Enid Blyton sort of...
Cucurbitacins, come here!
It's like the cat or something.
Come have some lemonade, Cucurbitacins.
Exactly.
It
sounds so jolly.
Naturally occurring in pumpkins and other kinds of squash. It's controlled in farming, normally, but it develops naturally to keep insects away from the fruit. So it's its own defense mechanism.
Yes.
So the insects back them and go, it's bitter. Bleh. The insects do that, apparently.
Yes.
That's my sign for insects.
See them around go,
Ew. So, wild pumpkins will probably contain quite a lot of this, and it can occur because of cross-pollination if it's not monitored properly.
I'm intrigued by the thought of wild pumpkins sort of roaming the forests in herds.
Riding headless horsemen.
Yeah, exactly.
The stripy ones are the most dangerous.
Exactly, they move at dusk and devour entire villages.
Well, there you go. Well, if you eat a bitter tasting squash, and this is genuine, if you ever taste a squash or a pumpkin and it tastes bitter, spit it out. Spit it out immediately because it's toxic. There are several cases of people eating squash and then getting poisoned by them, and it has a curious side effect. There are 2 women in France, and they both suffered, it's called cucurbit, again, very cute, poisoning, from eating bitter, one was eating bitter pumpkin soup. The other one, a bitter squash. It feels like the squash was angry. It's like a Disney kind of film, the bitter squash. And they both, as well as having kind of the symptoms of food poisoning, they both lost all of their hair.
Well, that's dramatic.
And when I say all of their hair, I mean all of their hair.
See, why was that needed?
Because it was in the reports I was reading. They really went to detail.
Did it actually go? That's what they thought. And it's brackets. I really mean all of their hair.
No, they wrote it out. I tried to make it clean, and they were like, "Oh, their underarm hair, their pubes, everything was gone." No, all of their hair fell out. One woman, like, a massive patch of her hair on her head fell out, and the other woman bald. And it took a very long time for the hair to grow back.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yeah, really weird side effect, as well as feeling bloody awful. Bald as a pumpkin, you might say.
No one has ever said that.
So there you go, little pumpkin.
Well, I like a fact.
You
a
see?
poisony fact, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You have redeemed some points
Oh, thank you, kind sir.
on this imaginary point chart that I'm keeping.
You know the bastardometer? Above it is just Nick's point system of how Sinead has disappointed him.
The wall isn't big enough.
It's the wall of sadness every time I come in. But today we're not here to talk about poisoned pumpkins and pulverised pubic hair, Nick.
Where's the fun in that? Who wants to talk about that?
Well, would you rather hear a story about ghosts,
Well, that's quite fun.
murder, and seances?
Oh, all 3. I don't have to pick one.
No, all 3.
Then yeah, go for it. Absolutely.
Today we are going to tell the tale of the Cock Lane ghost.
Nice.
Already we're setting up.
Already we're going there. Yeah.
I
mean, there's no way Sinead's going to get any sort of innuendo or anything going in.
I
with
just
this.
urge you to wait until midway through the story because, the work was done for me, Nick. The work was done for me. This story is fantastic. I was searching for spooky stories and I actually have some in reserve, so there will be many spooky stories later. This is one where I went down a rabbit hole and then found the biggest ream of information on this and can't believe that we have not heard of it before.
No, it's not one I've come across at all.
Indeed. Come with me now, Nick, to the year 1762.
Oh, this is going to be a good one.
At a house in Cock Lane, in London. Not far from St. Paul's Cathedral.
Nice.
Where a seance is taking place.
Even better.
Collection of pretty esteemed men and a handful of onlookers are gathered round a table, lit by a candle. The Reverend Thomas Broughton, a Methodist minister, raises his voice. Are you the wife of Mr. Kent? Did you die naturally? By poison? Did any person other than Mr. Kent administer it? A member of the public cries out, "Kent, ask the ghost if you shall be hanged." To which the reply came.
I would like to point out, I get moaned at for banging the table.
Really
And I can imagine that sounded incredibly painful.
I know, I was trying to make it really
You
loud.
were really going for it.
I didn't practice this at all. I should have gotten a utensil. Oh, my hands. I'm trying to build a mood, mate, alright? Now, seances are nothing to the common folk of London. Why, you might ask, am I bothering you with tales of such hokum
I do ask that.
and frivolity? Pah! Nonsense, you may say. What have I told you? That this story... What are you laughing at?
No, Sinead's gone into full storytelling mode. It's hilarious.
Oh, yes, mate. Buckle up, kid. Don't you dare look this story up.
No. I was going to put on some moody lighting.
Oh, okay, put on moody lighting. Go on, put on moody lighting. Wasted time on facts about pumpkins.
Oh, well, that's true, yes.
Ooh.
Is that suitably
Oh, it's
moody?
very spooky. Oh, he's put red lighting. Well, what if I told you?
Yes.
That this story inspired Charles Dickens.
Ooh.
And is also a bona fide case that Samuel Johnson and the Duke of York were involved in.
Ooh, that's quite fancy. Is this the grand old Duke of York?
He had 10,000 men.
Well, indeed. Was he going around in the seance with
haunted
his
him.
10,000 men?
Well, they were all carrying pumpkins.
Right, well, as one does.
They were the roaming pumpkins of the wilds.
It's up and down hills, pumpkins.
Let's go back to 1756, Nick. Shall we?
Oh, go on then.
Let us go back to 1756, where William Kent, an innkeeper, lives in Norfolk with his wife Elizabeth. They also run the local post office as well as their inn, and they're very, very happy. A quaint, lovely life they have in Norfolk.
Delightful.
But tragedy would strike them early on.
No.
Elizabeth, you see, was quite sickly, and she died, sadly, during childbirth.
No.
Nothing
A lot
suspicious.
of sickly people.
We deal with a lot of sickly
We deal with
people.
a lot of sickly people.
It's the 1700s. They were really sick then.
Really sickly.
But there's nothing untoward about this. It's very sad. She bears a son, but William is heartbroken. Obviously, heartbroken he was. Luckily, Elizabeth's sister, her sister Fanny, Lynn, was on hand, and she was only too happy to move in and help take care of the baby and look after the family, and the father maybe offer him some
I feel some comforting going on.
some comforting,
Yeah.
some gentle comforting.
Gentle comforting. Ardent
Yes.
comforting. potentially.
Ardent, very
Ardent.
heavy comforting. Well, some comforting was needed because, no joke, very sadly, the baby boy did die.
Oh, that's upsetting.
His son died. It did not survive. Nothing suspicious. Again, these things happen. So a lot more comforting was needed.
A lot more comforting.
A
after
lot
that,
more
yes.
comforting was needing. It was just head to bosom for 24 hours a day, crying, tapping him on the back. There.
Comfort.
You can probably see where I'm going with this. Fanny and William are soon in love. Oh,
Well,
they
of
are in
course.
love. They decide they want to marry. But there's a problem with that.
Yes.
They can't marry
Why?
because of canon law.
A person called Canon Law?
Yes.
Right.
Who came in and went, none of this,
Yeah,
and then
well,
walked
indeed.
out again. Why do we keep inviting him round? Also, the law that a canon will be fired at you if you try to
Yeah,
get
well, there is
married.
that as well.
was
So
that,
the
and
law of the canon.
No, canon law means William had been married to Fanny's sister, and because they had been married and produced a child, a living child, even though the child is now dead, the church says they can't get married.
How strange. I've not heard that before.
I've looked it up. I didn't
Some
go way into it.
obscure sort of shenanigans.
It's sort of forbidden. Well, in the Christian church, there's all sorts of, for a while there was, you've been married before and you're married to the member of the family. No, you can't possibly marry again. But they're in love, but they can't marry. So it's a bit shit for them, really. But they were determined to stay together. Well, she was determined to stay with him. William is going, well, let me just see what will happen,
Let me see what my options are.
well, he does. He literally does this. He kind of goes, I'm going to quit this 1-horse town and go to that 3-horse town over there to see Chicken, the horse. He moves to London in 1759. At first, he's alone. He sort of started to have a career. The equivalent we would call it these days is a loan shark.
Right, that's quite a leap.
Yeah, kind of like moneylender, but kind of like not so...
Innkeep, post
yeah.
office person, loan shark.
Yeah, but he moves to London while Fanny stays with her brother, with her family. He's going to get a job and try and settle down, try and make a fresh start. She's writing to him the whole time. Writing to him, and I quote, filled with repeated entreaties to spend the rest of their lives together. Family dead against this union. They do not like William. They don't like this going on. They don't like any of this, but William eventually says, all right, Fanny, come to
Oh,
London.
if you have to.
Go on, I'm lonely here. And off she goes, hurrah. Now, they are going to pass themselves off as a very nice married couple in London. They are a couple. They've had
Scandal.
the relations.
The relations.
But they are not technically married.
Definite scandal.
No one knows them. It'll be a doddle. They go to London. They rent a nice place. Starts off in his money-lending ways by lending his landlord 20 quid. He's
Right.
As this progresses, William is fucking shrewd. He's lending everyone money for some reason, but then that's his job. But all is not well in London. No, Fanny's family are pretty fucking furious about this relationship, and so they inform the landlord, who was an upstanding member of society, that a couple in his household are not wed.
Well, that's just mean.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Let them do what they want.
Okay, I'm going to admit it's a bit weird.
What's a bit weird?
Well, no, if you're a bloke shacking up with your dead daughter's
Wife.
sister. Well, no, from a family's point of view, if they were
Yeah.
my 2 daughters, and he married that one, but then she died, and now he's with the other one.
Yeah,
it is a bit weird.
They couldn't have liked him from the first place, could they?
it is
They
a
probably
bit
thought he
weird,
was a bit dodge. So landlord is furious. He's furious about this impropriety,
Absolutely.
and it's a wonderful excuse not to pay back the £20 that he owes. So this isn't good news. William, shrewd businessman, wants to take him to court. However, he's also got to play this very carefully because he can't attract attention, because he can really be prosecuted
Yes,
for living with a woman who's sin, and the
Living
landlord
in
knows that.
sin.
Living in sin. So they've got to find someone new to move very quickly. Luckily, while attending the church one morning, good church-going couple, they meet Richard Parsons, who's the parish clerk. And he hears the tale of woe, and he feels bad for them. And he has rooms. I have rooms at my house in Cock Lane. Come. Sounds appetising, doesn't it?
It sounds like a delightful place.
And they're like, wonderful, that's great. It's really worth pointing out here that Parsons is a complete pisshead.
Excellent.
Complete drunk. He's tied to the church. So it may have been, I have a feeling that it may have been one of those drunken promises you make. You know when
Yes.
you meet new
Means,
friends?
yeah, absolutely. I've got... Come and stay with me. It's fine.
Stay
fuck
in my
it, here.
house, come on, yeah. Well, oh my god, we'll live together and we will start our own business. And we'll do that, and you wake up in the morning going, who are you?
We're going to go travelling. We're going to go...
We're gonna get in the cars and just go. Get on our horses.
Go.
So yeah, come and live in my house. Can I borrow 12 guineas? This is true. They move into his house, in the large house in Cock Lane. It's described as respectable but declining area, comprised of a single room of each floor, 3 stories, connected by a winding staircase.
I enjoy a winding staircase.
I like a winding staircase.
Yes, I'll go with that.
And they really did loan Parsons 12 guineas. I think William just sees a business opportunity anyway.
Yeah,
right?
he's
just waving money at people. Parsons himself had a wife and 2 daughters. The younger daughter we hear nothing of. The elder daughter, also called Elizabeth. So scratch the older Elizabeth, who was William Kent's first wife.
Right.
And then we have a younger Elizabeth, who is Parsons, not connected to him, daughter.
Right.
So in case you just get confused by the Elizabeths.
It's this thing I say again. Call people different things.
Well, they were not connected. Okay, they didn't have kids at the
I
same
don't care.
time or get married.
There's only one person allowed of any name at the same time.
So yes, they have an elder daughter, Elizabeth, who is described as a little artful girl of 11 years of age.
Sounds annoying.
I
drew this picture. It's lovely. Look at my pictures. Put them on the wall.
Shut up, you. We'll reserve that judgment. So into this house they move with another family. All is well, and there's good news, quietly good news. Fanny is pregnant. Which is good because William and Fanny, they want to have a baby. It's lovely. All seems working out well for the family. Yay! But
they're not married. This is not going to end well.
I know, and maybe the other side doesn't seem to like what's happening.
That's exactly what it is.
Because the house, it seems, comes
alive and eats them. No.
It comes with something of the other world about
it. Oh, right.
William goes away for a family wedding, and Fanny is at home because in her pregnant state she needs to rest.
Right.
And young Elizabeth comes to look after her. She stays in room with her. But while he is gone, that's when strange things start to happen in the house. Fanny and Elizabeth, alone in their room at night, swear they can hear scratching noises and rapping sounds echoing about the house. and they report it in the morning. Mrs. Parsons, Richard's wife, says it must be the neighbouring cobbler working late into the night.
Yes.
But these noises persist, even when the cobbler is not working. Moreover, the landlord of the nearby Wheatsheaf pub visited the house one day, maybe to bring Parsons his daily supply of 6 crates of gin. But when he comes in, he claims to hear the same horrible noises, and even worse, as the chills creep down his spine, he suddenly sees a ghostly white figure ascending the stairs. And he runs from the building, terrified.
And it's not the daughter.
It's not the daughter. Just horrible
Just
sound.
a ghostly figure.
Ghostly figure just walks up the stairs, all right, mate? I'm imagining this floating kind of creepiness. If someone just walked up the stairs, I don't think he'd run out of the building. That's just my wife. What? She was wearing a white dress. She's a ghost.
People are very naive in these times.
I'm scratching my leg. No, it's a ghost. No, there are.
Well, they all have wooden legs. So scratching.
It's
It sounds creepy.
Pirates,
it's a house of pirates.
No, the women report that there are just unsettling noises all the time, scratching and tapping through the house, and it upsets Fanny greatly. She's pregnant. She's just really feeling quite upset. The daughter as well, Elizabeth, is talking, the daughter of Parsons, saying all the time that she can feel it as well. Fanny becomes more fearful because as the noises follow her around the house and the figure who is seen floating around the house, she fears that she bears a resemblance to her dead sister.
Oh.
Whom she
replaced.
Mm.
Yes. Oh, the wife is back.
It's only what Fanny says. Maybe pregnancy brain, maybe she's just seeing things. Now, William comes back, and maybe it's because business is booming for a loan shark, or maybe it's because of the reports of the scary fucking house that they're living in. William decides that they're going to move out. They're going to move to Clerkenwell. Nice area. Well, it's nice now. I think, was it 1700s? Was it nice?
I don't know, to be honest.
Why don't you know, Nick? Why don't you have an encyclopedia knowledge?
What was Clerkenwell like in the 1700s? I don't know.
But to Clerkenwell they will go. Mainly because Parsons also has not paid his debt to Williams. Remember he gave him the 12 guineas?
Yep.
Yeah, he's not paid it. And William is pretty much determined to take him to court. He's fine with this sort of thing. When he lends people money and they don't pay him back, he's going to report them to the police. He's going to take them to court.
Well, it's probably, if he's returning to the police and taking him to the court and stuff like that, it's not really a loan shark, really, is he? He's a actually bona fide money lender.
Well, yeah.
So if he's a loan shark, then he's going to be breaking legs and sending the boys around. So.
Well, let's just call him that.
Perhaps that was what it was. Perhaps it's like one of his henchmen dressed up in a frock going, whoa.
Oh, he was trying to drive them out.
Yeah, exactly. Pay the money back.
You've done wrong by your tenant.
That's what it was.
Well, there's not a good vibe in the house, let's put it that way. Fanny is heavily pregnant at this time. At this point, they move out of the house. They have another house apparently secured. They move places, but Fanny falls ill.
No.
Very ill, suddenly. And her condition worsens and worsens. She's visited by doctors, visited by an apothecary, and they say it's smallpox.
Oh, that's less fun.
Yeah, that's not good news.
No.
Fanny immediately sends for a lawyer. She ensures her will is in order, that her husband will inherit everything. It's very forward-thinking of her.
Oh, quite.
Yeah. But sadly, on the 2nd of February, the next year, Fanny is dead.
No.
No, Fanny. William is devastated about losing his Fanny.
I'm not going to dignify that with her.
I don't know why you would, Nick. It's very sad. So anyway,
moving on.
William orders a coffin for his wife. Given the nature of their relationship, he asks that the coffin remain nameless. Normally have the name.
Yeah, you can't put Mrs. something or
yeah, exactly. You can still be prosecuted for this stuff. Registering the burial, he gives Fanny his name, Fanny Kent. It's all very sad, but he has some small relief that he has won his case against Parson.
No, went as well. Yeah, no.
She was pregnant and then she died.
And then she
there's
died.
no baby.
No.
He has some small relief that he has won his case against Parsons.
Right.
The drunken reverend, the person who took him in and living in Cock Lane. He's won his case. So his money, he moves into his new home and he's just going to start afresh, sadly without his beloved. He's going to start life as a stockbroker. He's moving up. He's moving up the ranks. He's doing well with money, clearly.
No, indeed.
However, Fanny's family obviously get wind of her death.
Yeah.
Someone told them, probably.
Potentially, yeah.
Her sister, Anne Linds, who lives nearby in Park Mall, she attends a funeral. Anne is furious about Fanny leaving all her money to William, because they hate William. Now, it's a classic kind of family spat. Fanny inherited money from her dead brother. It shouldn't go to William. This is not fair. And they're fighting and yelling. They try and take him to court. They try and block all of this stuff. There's just a lot of bad feeling around generally. All it does is just stir up resentment on both sides. But meanwhile,
yes,
with Fanny's death, not all is well back in Cock Lane.
You love saying that.
I'm just trying to set the mood of the spooky house.
Oh, is that what it is?
It's not my fault that it's in Cock Lane, but I do like the fact that it's in Cock Lane.
It's funny.
Not only is Parsons, the owner of the house, humiliated in court and out a considerable sum of money, but with Fanny's death,
Are there now 2 ghosts in the house?
the ghostly goings-on have ramped up somewhat, considerably. New lodgers at the house complain that the scratching noises and the tappings on the wall are almost constant. The air is cold, the lights flicker, the noise continues day and night. And what's more, young Elizabeth, the daughter, seems to be the focal point of all of this supernatural attention. She seems to attract the spirits around her. And people notice this more and more. She experiences fits. She sees ghostly apparitions in the house. Anyone could hear the sounds like scratching at the walls. They say it's like a cat scratching all the time.
Could it possibly mean a cat scratching?
What could it be? Meow, feed me, for God's sake.
Or just like, there's a lot of rats. A lot of rats in
There's
London.
a lot of rats in the wall. But as the noises and the activity increases, young Elizabeth fearfully reveals that the spirit that is in the house goes by the name of Fanny Lynn. Fanny has returned to Cock Lane, it seems. Richard Parson reportedly goes to great lengths to get to the bottom of these noises. He has all the wainscoting around Elizabeth's old bed removed. He has renovations done in the house. And he has a Methodist...
Question.
Yes?
Wainscoting.
It's a thing.
Yes. And what variety of thing would it be?
I was hoping you'd explain that.
It's a term I know, but I don't know what it means.
Do you not know? Because
No.
I think it's like paneling.
I thought it was something on a house.
Yeah, I've heard it like described like, oh, have you seen the wainscoting
Yeah, it's like
on
an
the house?
architectural feature. But how
Yeah.
that relates to a bed,
I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure.
Well, maybe we'll look it up.
I am going to Google
Maybe
it.
it's like a wooden valance.
A valance.
Valance. Is it valance or valance?
Balance.
Oh, is it valance? Oh, I'm sorry.
Wainscoting.
The skirt thing round the edge of the bed.
Yeah. No, yeah, paneling.
Paneling. There you go, mate. There you go, mate.
I did not know that was what it was. No.
This is fantastic listening, guys.
Well, indeed.
Right?
Like, paneling round, like, halfway around
Yeah.
the walls. That's wainscoting, apparently.
Oh, is that what it's
Yeah.
called? Oh, we just call that paneling.
I'm saying,
Well, all of that-
I've learnt a new thing.
Ripped out because that's the thing that's creating the knocking. And they rip that out. 7 cats fall out. Going, Jesus Christ. That was an ordeal. But still the scratching and the knocking and the sounds continue. Fanny is there.
See, why is Fanny haunting this house?
Apparently her sister haunted her there, and now Fanny has returned to that house.
She didn't die there.
Well, shall we investigate?
Okay, fine, sorry.
Shall we investigate?
Shush.
Parsons, he goes to great lengths to try and get to the bottom of these noises. He invites a Methodist priest to visit the house, and he concludes that, yes, just as Fanny feared her own sister was haunting the house, there is a spirit in the house, and it must be Fanny who has come back to haunt this house as well.
Right.
For some reason, she's come back. Has Elizabeth, the first wife, appeared to her own sister in this house? And was Fanny's death truly down to smallpox? So Parsons and the Reverend, whose name is Moore, devise a system to communicate with the spirit in the house.
Yeah, I would never put, like, Methodists in that sort of, like, spiritual sort of...
And you would be
bracket.
wrong not to. You'd
I'd
be
be
wrong
wrong-
not to. A Methodist very much wanted to prove the supernatural was true.
Yes, Anglicans, I knew that, yes, but I
No,
don't
they were not so much about
No,
it.
so
No,
I didn't
it's
think
in
Methodists would
proving
be-
about ghosts. Apparently, the Methodists were really strong
Really
on that.
right, fair
They
enough.
wanted to prove evidence of the afterlife and the supernatural. So for Methodists, big deal. And this kind of thing sparked a lot of controversy at the time
I've learnt a new thing.
with the Anglicans. That they were, yes, there's an afterlife, but we don't fucking
But
believe
none
in
of it
ghosts.
here.
None of it there. No, but these Methodists,
they're all
they
about the
are
ghosts.
all over it.
Nice,
Yes,
okay.
the Methodist priests Moore and Parsons devise a system of communicating with the ghost. They will hold seances, and they will call out to the spirit, and they will ask them to knock once for yes and twice for no. if you remember the sequence from the beginning.
I remember the knockings.
And using this system, the ghost calls herself Fanny, claims that she has been murdered.
No.
She did not fall ill to smallpox at all, they surmise, but rather her dear, dear husband had slipped a little arsenic into her tea.
They're quite different set of symptoms.
Arsenic alarm! Arsenic alarm! Really? Are they though? But
Well,
just vomiting and shitting and fever and death?
Smallpox, generally pox.
The pox.
In
Very
sort of
quickly.
the spotty, poxy sort of thing going on.
Well, very good point, very good point. Nobody
arsenic,
saw the body.
Not so much on that.
Nobody saw the body.
But who diagnosed this as smallpox then? There must have been some sort of doctor.
Quite possibly, yes. For the time being, people, as far
Okay.
as I know, she was rushed into her coffin. No name on it, screwed up very, very quickly. Sister didn't get to see her. Sister did not get to see the body put away. But yes, that's a very good point. You know, there would be evidence of it. But we are still with the seance bit. Yes, I know what you're thinking. What's going on? Why are you telling me this shitty ghost story that clearly is not true? It's Halloween, goddammit, and it's my story.
I'm not arguing with that.
But
I wouldn't dare.
This is not just a made-up folklorish story of someone saying, oh my god, there was a haunted house. These are actual accounts of a supposed haunting at Cock Lane that spread like wildfire. Scores of people that turned into hundreds wanted to come and see this house. Because news of these hauntings there, of the noises of the child who was communing with a spirit, were just spreading all over the neighbourhood. The Public Ledger, a publication in London, printed stories about it, and people read it and they wanted to be there. Not just the crazy kind of cackling folk on the corner who I totally would be at that time.
Yeah.
No, quite prestigious people turning up, wanting to see, wanting to hear. You know, spiritualism is really getting
It's starting to get going at this point.
It's really getting going, and people want a piece of it. As the rumours spread and all the tales from Cock Lane started to circulate, do you know what they called the ghost of Cock Lane?
I dread to think, really.
Scratching Fanny. No innuendos needed.
Absolutely. I mean, it's to the point. It's accurate.
Scratching Fanny of Cock Lane.
Scratching Fanny of Cock Lane. Potentially has different connotations these days, I must admit.
Well, America and the UK is very different things.
Well, that's true, actually. Yes, it is.
In America, it's kind of, oh, that's funny. In the UK, dear God.
Well, that's terribly rude.
Goodness me.
Now, but see, was this just the Mr. Parsons man just going, I've lost a load of cash, therefore I need to get some income in, so therefore I'll spread these rumours and everyone will pay a penny to come in and see the haunted house.
A penny,
or
please.
however
No,
much.
but a pound.
A pound. Come in and pay a guinea to see the haunted house or
The
something.
more that the story, yes, the more that these rumours were circulated and they were really hyped up. You can imagine, you know, these are the 1700s. It's the equivalent of nowadays, say, ghost hunters or most haunted and things like that. People absolutely queuing up to come in and hear evidence of this. And these are in the early stages. This would go on for quite a while. As I said, these reports are circulating. It's been published in the Public Ledger, which people are reading. And that's where William Kent reads about the story. And apparently his ex-wife, in inverted commas, who was apparently walking around a house that they used to live in, haunting it, saying that he killed her.
Interesting.
And he's understandably upset by
Well,
this.
one would be concerned by this revelation.
It's not a good breakfast to read that.
No,
really.
no, it's not something you want to read about yourself. He sues the ghost or something. Takes the ghost to court for slander or...
As much as I'd love it to be, and there is a genuine case of someone taking a ghost to court, actually as a witness, not actually suing them. One day we'll find one. No, he is quite sensible, actually. He 100% gets out clearing his name. He's a smart guy. He is shouting, "What's wrong with you? This is mental."
Yes, this is insane.
And he rocks up at the house with the two doctors who treated Fanny. Like, they can 100% say she had smallpox. It was fucking obvious. Come on. And another priest, and says, go on then, prove me wrong. But they still take part in this ridiculous seance. They sort of come in and, as skeptics, the two doctors go in, the priest goes in, so does William Kent. Parsons is there, his priest more, who 100% believes this. He's so faithful to
I mean, it's looking at these two priests sort of facing off across the table.
like, yeah. And probably the other priest wants to prove it as well. I think he's another Methodist, so they're like, yeah, no, this would be great, this would be great. And there's also spectators in the room. There's just like friends or people who wandered in off the street, like really wanting to see a seance.
I'm sure they
popcorn.
paid a pretty penny to be there.
He goes in, he admits at the time as well that he is not married. He was not married to Fanny. I don't know if he just admits it to his priest or to the others, but he does say, look, she was not my wife.
Well, you don't want the ghost bringing that up.
Well,
You don't want the
remember
ghost
what happened
spilling
at the beginning.
instead of spilling the secrets. So.
But then she does, in front of this crowd. They are in young Elizabeth's bedroom, where she's apparently the conduit for all of this stuff. The child, this sounds bad, I don't think it's as bad as it sounds. She's publicly undressed and put to bed, but I think she's just put to bed in like
In a nightgown sort of thing, yes. Okay.
I don't know why, they're like, the child is in bed, and the seance begins, and starts off with a relative of Mr. Parsons, Mary Fraser, running around the room shouting, Fanny, Fanny, why don't you come out? Do come, pray, Fanny, come on, dear Fanny, come on.
I mean, that's always worked for the ghosts that I've spoken to. I have to say.
So
the more enthusiasm you can show, the more the ghosts appreciate it.
It's a woman running around shouting Fanny, and that's just what happens in that room. Everyone's like, okay, nothing happens, by the way. Then all the psychic
She'd
boys
been
come
at
out.
Parsons Gin or something.
She just hammered. She wasn't even part of it. He's like, I don't know her. She's just pissed and running around the room. But then all the sort of psychic ploys come out, and there's I've had to cut this down because across this case there are so many detailed accounts. This is what's remarkable about it, about what people have seen at each one, and everyone writes it down very,
Methodically.
Absolutely. So the person who's leading it, the priest, says he warns that the ghost is sensitive to disbelief.
Well, ghosts.
Yeah, they won't turn up if you don't believe. Don't have
Yeah.
any of you non-believers in here. You should accord it due respect.
See, that's a marvellous thing. Say, then you can just say, if nothing turns up, then say, well, there was a non-believer in here.
Yeah, exactly.
And the ghost didn't turn up.
Unbeliever, stone them!
Yeah.
There we are. He tells the group that the ghost will not come because they're making too much noise.
Well, this bloody woman running around the place is, yeah.
Stop screaming. So he shuffles them out of the room and says to them that he's going to try and contact the ghost by stamping his feet. So they go out of the room. For 10 minutes, this guy's in here stamping his feet. It's just stamping feet sounds. Like
Practicing his dancing or something. He's doing a great tap routine or something
he
going
was
on.
building up to show them, and he was too shy, and he
He's
just wanted
just
to
practicing.
practice.
Practicing his tap. All this was about him and his river dance.
Slow, quick, slow. 10 minutes later, he says, "You can come in now. It's all right."
I'm ready.
But he gets cold feet again. He's like, "Oh, the ghost has returned! God damn it! No, I should have done it then." He's dancing in the background, and no one's listening. They enter the room, and then come those questions that we heard at the start. Are you the wife of Mr. Kent? No. Did you die naturally? No. By poison? That means yes.
Oh,
Did any person other than Mr. Kent administer it?
no.
And then an audience member shouts out, "Kent, ask the ghost if you shall be hanged." And the answer was... Kent at this point proclaimed, "Thou art a lying spirit. Thou art not the ghost of my Fanny. She would never have said any such thing."
Quite.
Well, no, I don't think many ex-girlfriends would say he tried to kill me and I'm a ghost. So yeah, he's shouting, "This is bollocks." No.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry, the ghost of my Fanny. I tried not to laugh. I tried. It was like, it's not funny, but it is. So these seances continue to be a source of entertainment and speculation. Again, the writings on this are extensive. Just how much is going on. A little excerpt that was really long, but I just love the fact that a former maid of Fanny's called Esther Carrots Carlyle.
Excellent.
Yes.
That's a good name.
Carrots because of her red hair. And she was just known as Carrots.
Carrot. Oh, that's nice.
I like to think that she went on to solve crime.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
She tried to communicate. She's very much on the side of this is bollocks. Because she tried to communicate with the spirit. She was still employed in the house. She tried to communicate with the spirit, tried to go around like there was nothing happened.
Well, she was looking for evidence.
Yeah.
She was there with a magnifying glass.
She's smart. She's a smart girl.
Trying to find stuff.
She started her own agency later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Carrots cases. That's good. I thought of that on the spot. I didn't plan that.
Yeah, well done.
No, it would only appear when the brigade of spiritualists and priests were there,
absolutely.
obviously. But still, more and more notable people are calling on the house. The more prestigious people who attend, the more the newspapers cover it. And the more the newspapers cover it, the more Cock Lane is chocked full of people, to the point where the Lord Mayor of London has to get involved.
Yeah.
Because it's too busy. He has to move the child around, Elizabeth, because they all want to go and see her. Like, if she's got the activity, move her to another fucking house where there's a bigger street, for God's sake. Parsons, charging a fee on the door.
Yeah, absolutely.
Charging a fee. And people who came in always got a response. When Elizabeth was moved to another address, not to Cock Lane, Horace Walpole and the Duke of York and other nobles visited the child.
I can well imagine.
Yeah, all of the nobles said, like, we want to go down and see all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
Apparently they were disappointed.
Well, they would be.
But the more witnesses there are to the hauntings and seances, the more people become suspicious that this is
about bloody time.
a hoax. And again, William Kent is going, I am being defamed.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck this shit. No. And they're really pressing that he is a murderer and he's pursuing it and going, no, this is going to be investigated. Eventually, a committee of noblemen were formed to investigate this haunting. The most prominent member of this committee being Dr. Samuel Johnson.
That's pretty... Yeah.
Dr. Johnson is there.
Dr. Johnson.
Now, he goes in to the house. There is a written transcript of the report.
Of course there will be with him.
Yes, there are. I'm not going to read all of it out.
Good.
I'm not going to read all of it out. I'd love to. It is laborious at best.
I can well imagine, yeah.
Dr. Johnson, love him. What a genius, and where would the English language be without him? But for God's sake, he really loved the English language. But essentially concludes that he went in, tested many things, and it's a good thing to read, but it's a hoax.
There are no ghosts in this
100% it's
Yes.
a hoax. He's saying Elizabeth is lying, she is making the whole thing up. He's very methodical in his investigations, and it's just kind of very clearly that she's... what they discover is that she's got tiny bits of wood in her hand, and she's making the knocking noise.
Things.
She's scratching things. There are other investigations where they try and test her with her hands up in the air, and there's no noises, and then it's very obviously her who's doing it, and it's all been set up by Daddy.
Absolutely.
And by a chorus of other people. So with this report, Kent spoke to the Reverend Moore, who's been working with Parsons the whole time, but he's been doing it based on belief.
Absolutely. Completely convinced this is real.
Completely. Yeah. He really does think that it's the spirit of something because a sin has been committed. And Moore, hearing Johnson's report, he says he'll work with Kent to try and uncover to help him to investigate it and to uncover it. And he just genuinely says he believed he was doing something right there. And further investigations, they just carry on. Elizabeth is the source. Parsons has faked it all. And a case was brought against Parsons.
Good.
He went to trial.
Good.
Him, his wife, the tradesman who helped him, brought by, it's actually written by William Kent against the defendants for a conspiracy to take away his life by charging him with the murder of Frances Lynns by giving her poison whereof she died.
Yep, that's fair.
Numerous witnesses attesting the fact that Fanny and William were in love. Yeah. They were happy. No foul play at all. There were many, many people who spoke in Parsons' defence. Completely believing it 100%. Noble people, standing up and saying they could not believe he was guilty, attested to seeing ghosts in the house 100%. However...
It's that desperation to believe, isn't it, though?
Absolutely. But it's just belief with no evidence. Yeah. So luckily the court, the judge, the jury take not very long at all
time.
to find Parsons and his accomplice guilty.
Good.
Everyone had to pay William Kent a certain amount of money, which he's very happy with.
Yeah, fair enough.
Including the priest. He was so committed to the end.
Yes, but he was, yeah.
Parsons himself, sentenced to 2 years in prison, and he had to stand in the pillory, otherwise known as the stocks, 3 times.
Pillory and stocks, different things.
Are they?
Yes. Pillory, neck, head and arms.
Yeah.
Stocks, sitting down, feet.
Really?
Yes.
That I did not know. I knew, I saw the picture of pillory, but I had always thought the stocks is probably from movies.
No, other way around with sitting down with feet.
Oh.
Is stocks.
Well, there we go. We've learned something. Silly me. All right, so the pillory, not the stocks. Oh, I just thought I completely misconstrued that. So he was put in the pillory.
Yep.
3 times.
And you get things thrown at you.
Well, normally you do. The crowds, when he was in the pillory each time, were very nice to him.
Oh, fair
really
enough.
Contrary to what normally happens, they actually had a whip round.
Oh, how nice.
They raised some money for him.
Here, have a pint.
Have a pint. Yeah, literally, they raised him some money. Everyone was
pint
really
of straw.
sympathetic. Just goes to show the power of the belief in the supernatural and the knowledge of that case. As I said before, this was a very big case in the Methodists versus Anglicans. Who wants to prove the existence of ghosts? The case was written about in numerous times in essays by Horace Walpole, written about by Dr. Samuel Johnson, in plays, in fiction, and is referenced in Nicholas Nickleby.
Oh, really?
Yep. It says, Mrs. Nickleby claims that her great-grandfather went to school with the Cock Lane ghost.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
Oh, that's good. I like that.
And that is the story of the Cock Lane ghost.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And not just because it's on Cock Lane.
It's referenced in a few Dickens stories as well.
Good.
I think it's briefly referenced in Tale of Two Cities as well.
I've never heard of that one before. I like that.
This is crazy, this story. Again, as I said, trying to find spooky poison-related story. It had a couple. This is days later. Went down one rabbit hole, clicked on something, and then my computer exploded with the Cock Lane ghost. With the Cock Lane ghost. Isn't it great?
It's a good story.
Poison. Hauntings.
Poison, limited poison.
Allegedly.
Alleged poison.
There was a report not many years later, someone else investigating this, because again, people would have many theories about the ghost and whether it was happening or not. Someone apparently went to Fanny's tomb or to her grave, basically were able to open her coffin and said she was remarkably preserved.
Oh.
Which would give an indication of arsenic poisoning.
Yeah.
There's another account where during all the seances, I think it actually was involving Johnson, where they had this elaborate fucking setup of some people were at Cock Lane and there was a knocking going on, and then someone said, right, I'm going to send someone to her coffin, which was in a tomb, I think, so it couldn't have been underground, because how else would this have happened? I'm going to send her to her grave so she could knock on the coffin door.
Right.
And when they got there, she didn't knock. And then someone said, oh, her body's been stolen as a result of it. Nah. And then they opened the coffin and then found she was in a putrefying state. And then the person who saw her body fainted.
Yeah, that's more
so
understandable.
So there's lots of people saying they saw her body and it was either really decomposed or perfectly preserved. Perfect. It's a good story. Good story. So many things have been written about it. And yeah.
I like that.
Do we think William Kent did it?
No. No, we don't.
No, we don't. He did nothing. He is a saint, if anything.
I wouldn't go that far. Okay. But I don't think he murdered his lover.
His common law wife.
Common law wife.
He would have married her if he
could have done. Yes, absolutely.
But yes, people die. People die of smallpox.
Well, that they do.
Parsons, he was onto a good thing, wasn't he?
Well, he was just, absolutely. He's the villain in the piece.
He was pissed.
He was just pissed, and I need more money for more gin. And also probably really pissed off at Kent because he's been taken to court and lost a load of cash.
Yeah.
So just pissed and looking for revenge or way to get his own back. And then come up with this rather convoluted.
Probably,
because imagine the daughter looking after Fanny was there, and when the first wife appeared, sort of thing. I imagine the daughter would have said to her dad, sort of thing, "Oh, we saw a ghost." Probably really didn't at all. But then you can imagine sort of the cogs ticking in Parsons' head, sort of thing, from that point, going, "Ooh,
that it's haunted.
We can there's haunted, and we can do something with this." And
because the first accounts
get some money back.
with Fanny in the house, and again the pub owner of the Wheat Chief. How pissed was he coming in there and just seeing someone going up the stairs? But apparently said he saw a spirit or something go up the stairs. The two of them could hear knocking and scratching. So maybe that's Fanny, pregnancy brain, or just paranoid, or a little bit whatever. You hear things and you're very frightened about it. Maybe there was a haunting originally in Cock Lane. Maybe the sister was troubling her, and then it just turned into a bit of a seance and a stupid thing. The father completely exploiting his daughter.
Completely.
Yeah, I don't think she had a good time.
No, probably not by the sounds of it.
No,
being forced to do all these random things. And
paraded around and made to kind of...
That would not be enjoyable.
Not fun.
And a very good Halloween story. I'll give you that.
Halloweeny goodness.
For Spooky Week.
Yeah, see, I told you I would get you a spooky story, and that is a great spooky story. But the good thing is now I've got a load of spares. What do you think, guys? Do you believe in the ghost of Cock Lane? Scratching Fanny? That's her name. I can't dress
yeah,
it up. I'm sorry. Yeah, what do you think? Do you think there was a ghost there ever? Do you think it was just a cruel ploy by Parsons? Do you think that William Kent is a murderer, or was he just going, what the fuck is going on?
Probably that, yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much. You're a shrewd man. Tell us what you think. Come and have a chat with us on the social media. Comment on the post. Share more spooky stories of your own. Obviously, we're at Halloween and the spooky weekend. I love this shit, even if Nick is just going, no to all of that. I want to hear your spooky stories. Share some Instagram stories this weekend. That would be lovely.
Well, indeed, and as it is Halloween this weekend, I recommend go try a pumpkin smash.
Yay!
It's something that you're going to have the ingredients in the house. It doesn't require lots of weird and wonderful things. So yeah, bourbon, lemon, pumpkin, spice. Give it a go.
It's surprisingly lovely.
Give it a go, absolutely.
The kids will love it.
Knock up a batch and enjoy it with some spooky films.
Oh, yes. Please, you know what? Make me happy. Send pictures of all your Halloween celebrations, because I'm in England and you're going away this weekend. Other people are going away. I'm literally alone doing my own fire ritual for Samhain.
You do have a husband.
That's right. Yeah, but he's going on the fire. He's like you, though. He's like the rest of you when you kind of go, oh, it's you and your witchy shit. Please, for God's sake. No, he's been very sweet, and he's like, oh, are you doing your little ritual fire? I was like, yes, I am. Shut up. I'm going pumpkin picking on my own.
You go for it.
Pumpkin of unimaginable size and destruction. Go find the wild pumpkins.
Yes, you go and hunt one. Go and lasso yourself a pumpkin.
I shall. If you haven't already, guys, come and find us on Patreon. We had a fantastic couple of stories this month. We were joined by Emma from Real Life Ghost Stories, our dear friend, and I'm sure a lot of you follow her as well. She joined us for a Patreon episode earlier this week, and it was most amusing.
It was very good.
It was very good. It was very good. She was so hungover the next day as well.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite impressed by that.
She doesn't really drink that much,
No.
and then we give her cocktails,
And then she
she
drinks our
does.
cocktails, and it's quite funny.
We had a great time though, so it's good fun. And earlier this month we also had a fantastic original spooky story from Dragon Tales on Patreon, which has been released on her channels this week, so go and check her out. Go and follow her on social media. That is my sister. She's an amazing storyteller. Go get some merch if you need some. It's gonna be
fantastic for Christmas presents and all that sort of thing.
Yes,
Everyone,
get snuggly.
Get snuggly, get lovely things. So give all your loved ones poisonous cabinets, goodies, and turn them onto the cult.
Thanks for listening, guys. We have been the people inside the Poisoner's Cabinet. We will see you next week. And remember, your loved ones are trying to kill you.
Bye.